makes sense that it won't veto it, because this map, it feels like it doesn't really favor anyone necessarily, and why risk it? Maybe rolling another map that might be very bad for you. Okay, it's one of those low mess maps, as you said.
Yeah, 3K only on the entire map. There's like one nice rock near the base, but that's about it. But yeah, this is a 10x10 map gen map. It's as map gen as they come.
Yeah. And every tournament game should be like this.
Every tournament game should be map gen. We have awkward hydro.
Awkward hydro. Yeah, I see Tex had a rally point towards the hydro, but he cancelled it. And honestly, I don't think the ACU should walk there. I think you should build the 4 maxes in your base, some pigeons, and then instantly walk towards the 4 max expansion, and pick up maxes on the way there.
Yeah, I think the question is, do you have NGs that go and rush the hydro? Like, you could send 2 NGs to grab it pretty quick.
Yeah, you would. And honestly, like what Tex is doing now, I was about to say that as well, but maybe you make a quick second factory just for build power and for scaling in your base, because your SU will be busy walking towards the 4 max location. There's also one big rock next to the hydro, which will come in handy.
It's a nice rock.
That is a nice rock. But yeah, I'd say that rocks makes the BO quite a bit easier.
And both players gonna prioritize that hydro. Get nice rocks.
Disable the mod again.
They're never not gonna disable it.
Time. Oh, I really want to check their balance.
They both have pretty nice build orders.
Okay.
Pretty lean, especially Tex has exactly 6E in storage.
Damn, that's quite sick. He's gonna stall when he's gonna build a hydro with his other engineers. I think his SU should be moving. I think an engineer should build his second factory.
Yeah, I think so too, because he actually is stalling to get that up.
Yep, and you don't want to stall on building your hydro. Also, Grimplex made a bit of a mistake of where his SU is. That Max, an engineer, built it. It's a very tiny detail, but it's still quite inefficient.
Tex actually pausing his ACU there briefly to get the hydro up.
He can already move to the right of the factory and then edge build it.
Yeah.
Then that would have actually saved him a lot, because if he did that, he wouldn't have stalled, and without the stall, he would have gotten the hydro up faster to then stall less faster as well. So it's a bit he should have done that, but
I mean, Tex is gonna get his air up faster by a decent margin, which in theory might matter. I mean, he's gonna go Inti first.
Yeah,
it's a safe move.
Grimplex has a lot of factory spews up.
The man wants spam,
and they're all in his main base. Tex is doing the same thing. He's making most factories around the hydro though. Curiously enough, Tex is sending most of his units to the top left. I guess sending them to mid right now won't be too efficient yet, considering there's nothing really to raid there.
I mean, what? They'll find the ACU, and maybe they'll find Grimplex's reinforcing units. There's nothing there.
Yeah, exactly. And this is what I kind of mean with a bit of an awkward start, because the mid is important, but at the start, you can't really do much until, people are in mids, but expanding there with your ACU, it's pretty slow. So, do you rush a transport, but the hydro is quite awkwardly placed? But if your hydro gets sniped early on, it's bad as well. But hydro sniped, you transport.
I almost would have liked to see an engineer to mid, just because it's faster, and due to the fact that they're not sending units, it would have been good.
I mean, at this point, I think you should make a transport regardless.
Well, no, yeah, I'm talking about way early in the build order, while the AC is still in base, send an engineer out.
Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah. Although I'd say both of them were quite greedy with scouting, that they didn't like send a single. Like I guess for Tex is a reason he has Salons, they're more expensive, but as a Cybran, like just make like 3 moves at the start, 1 for each lane basically, so you don't get like raided or you can see anything that your opponent will do early on. It's just so cheap.
He's gonna get the expanding engineers killed. Wait, what? Where'd that bomb go? Where did that bomb go, Barbs? Like it dropped.
Yeah, I actually saw a bomber, but I.
But did it hit the Inti? I'm so confused.
Now it's I don't I was zoomed out, so I didn't see it.
I mean, it's a good bomber either way. Oh my gosh, gun? Can he
gun?
afford gun?
No way, he doesn't have many PGens.
He's got some. He actually kind of can afford gun. Like if he stops the PGen spam, he'll have enough.
He's past. I think this is not gonna be good. Like if you can already see that Grimplex has way more map control. This is a map where you can go around the ASU, ignore it, and especially as a Cybran, and just like create everything else with more units, which your opponent's meant to gun. Like he should have made factories there.
Yeah, he needs factories. I mean, maybe the plan is just walk at Grimplex. Don't expect that he'll know that you'll have gun and just kill him.
Well, exactly. Like it might work because Grimplex might not realize it in time, and it's a bit of a cheese strategy because, you know, he's clearly gonna try to snap the ASU, or if that doesn't work, he will walk towards like the 4max location and try to kill all the build power there. One of those two he's gonna try.
It's really ambitious.
It is, but I'd say it's still too early. I mean, even if it works out, I personally wouldn't do it because it's so risky, and you know, it's like you risk such a big thing at minute 6. The game has barely begun.
Here's his gun.
It's honestly, it kind of tells me that, or at least how I would look at it, is that it feels like he's not very comfortable versus Grimplex on this map, because it's not really a standard thing to do, right? Like if you expect yourself to like play well versus your opponents, then you won't do this.
Yeah, but I'm not sure Tex has ever been a fan of doing the standard thing to do.
I know. There's that argument as well. Like it's not necessarily gonna be like that. Like there's a decent chance that Grimplex dies here.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
that's
Tex
a
found
massive lack of intel as well.
Grimplex does not yet know he has a gun. I mean, you could almost hold fire the ACU here from Tex.
Yeah.
For bonus. Oh wait, is he actually doing that?
Yeah.
No, he just doesn't have intel.
Yeah. I feel like this might be it though soon.
They're just perfectly gonna walk into each other. Grimplex has absolutely no idea there's a gun ACU here. Wait, oh, he's backing up, but... Oh, he was getting the rock. Tex has now found him with the gun ACU. There's units in the vicinity.
He moves into the ACU.
Tex has OC.
He's also focusing the ACU and not the tanks.
Which I think
if
is
he
correct.
Focuses the tanks, no, that's a massive blunder. That's the only way for him to win this if he focuses the tanks.
Well, now that the tanks are showing up...
I'm talking about Grimplex, not tanks.
Oh, Grimplex. Yeah. Grimplex definitely needs to focus the tanks. Tex can focus Grimplex.
Like you see that, like, Grimplex had so many more units.
Alright, this might actually be a throw from Tex.
It's not a throw. He couldn't have done it differently. I think he will barely kill him in time.
He's so close! Oh, it's a draw!
Oh, it's gonna be a draw!
It's a draw! What is this? What is this? Yeah, the gun randomly retargeted there, and it might have cost Tex the game.
Really? I didn't see that, but that happened to me before too, so I can see it happening. This is exactly like the way this played out is like Tex has to focus the ASU because he has way less units. If he focuses units, sure, it means he wants to go for the efficiency game kind of. But like Grimplex has way more tanks, so
discernible reason, and then draw the game.
I think if Grimplex like realized his mistake, because the reason why this happened is because he didn't scout properly. On a map like this, what I would do, like I would just have some Tech 1 scout on patrol, like in the middle, like from the 4 max locations with lots of maxes. I would just have a scout there on patrol, because I have the intel there.
Farms. Are you seeing what Tex is doing? The man is doing honest to god 5th bomber.
What?
It's a thing. You can do it. At your own risk.
I mean, yeah, but I don't feel like this is the map to do that, because aside from like the core maxes, you don't really expand with your engineers.
Well, there's 2 expanding engineers that sort of go out left and right, and maybe he's trying to get the Hydro building engies? I'm not sure that would be in time.
That actually makes sense. I mean, it depends how quick Grimplex will rush it. Of course.
I feel like if he gets it at the same sort of slow-ish speed of last game, there's a chance that 5th bomber will randomly show up and kill the Hydro engies.
Yeah, but I also feel like there's a chance that this 5th bomber will be delayed, because he won't have the E. Because there's times like this is improvised, of course. It's a map gen, like you don't know. But right now he has 3 P gens, and like.
But the ACU is going to expand out and just grab mexes while he's getting the Hydro starting soon with some engies. So there's like some E in the budget here.
How much E does he have?
He's got 1.1 in storage. Bomber only costs 2k. He's not really spending any.
I think he might need 1 extra engineer before the bomber, but maybe actually the Hydro is gonna be it will be fine. It will be fine. He made enough engineers. Actually, he had 5 engineers, but he's made 6 in the end, so he'd already added 1.
But like the Hydro's gonna be done from Grimplex. The bomber will not show up in time to kill it, but it might be able to deny the air factory.
That's true, although that's also gonna be close. But like you see, like the amount of expanding engineers, like at most, aside from like the Hydro and air factory, there's 1 engineer going to the left, but that's gonna deny 1 max at most. Because like the 4 max corner maxes, you don't reliably expect to get an engineer there. 9 out of 10 times it dives to a raid or a bomber. Like it's such a long walk. I mean, you also have to keep in mind, it's not like Tech sacrifices a lot for this. Like he sacrifices a bit, but it's like it's 6 bomber. Like first air factory, then 6 engineers into a bomber.
Although his build is kind of crippled, he does not have enough power right now to spend his mass. So he's actually struggling a bit, and he doesn't have his 2nd factory up yet. So it's hurting. Like meanwhile, Grimplex is already on 3.5 factories.
That's not necessarily a bomber issue. That's a macro issue.
Well, the issue is he spent all the power getting this bomber instead of getting power.
Yeah, I know, but like if he can't spend his mass, it means that like his engineers now.
It looks like the bomber got a bit messed up by the mountains, which is a bit unfortunate. So we'll get 1 bomb off. You could almost try for the pigeons, but Grimplex, being the absolute Chad, split him.
This is not gonna be good. This is not gonna be good at all.
This is bad.
Even if he kills like those 2 engineers plus more, oh, that's a bit of a bad dodge.
This is not worth. I gotta say, it was a nice idea. Fired the bomber pilot, says Tex. I think that's the move here. Just straight out of the cannon.
The commander ordering that pilot to go on a suicide mission.
Look, that's what he signed up for, okay?
The Middle East was looking this green.
Look, these bomber pilots, they know what they get up to. They know what they're getting into. It's a tough life. Yeah.
Anyway, what you were saying with the lack of power from Tex, I feel like this was one of the situations where, where you to catch up on E, you build like a lot of pigeons and then you build a lot of factories, right? But he I mean, he's I don't know.
I mean, Tex has caught up on E now, but now he's down approximately all the tanks.
Yeah,
Grimplex is double tanks.
Then again, like, tanks this early, they're not gonna do a lot. It's just that they will help, like, they will help Grimplex win mid, but like until a few minutes in the future, they won't do a lot. So there's like some time to catch up. Like, he will lose the max on the left side, no big deal. It's one max, it's unimportant.
And Tex is scaling his factory production on the back of this, so he's catching up quite nicely. Actually, he's pulling ahead a bit, I think. 9 land to...
Oh, Grimplex is building in mid.
Yeah, including those, they the same. So, I mean, but having them in mid is better due to travel time.
I'm still surprised that none of them are building transports. Tex, it makes sense, because from his perspective, he's behind. He went for the bomb strategy, completely failed. He's got 2 engineers, but those were like in-base engineers, so they're unimportant. So from his perspective, he's behind, and that's right, he is, although not that much, but...
There's a Mantis in his base.
That's true.
He may not be behind, but there's a Mantis in his base.
But more importantly, like, if I would be in Grimplex position, I know I would be ahead, so there's more time to actually make the transport, to drop the side to get more ahead, right? That's how I would think.
Grimplex just gonna take advantage of the fact that the ACU went right, and he's gonna push in.
He actually just walks the engineers to the corners and he's grabbing them. That's just allowed.
It's just allowed. There's no bomber sent to kill them, really. There's some Mantis on the top left, but...
Top left should die, but bottom right should be kinda safe. For a bit.
I mean, there's some units headed that way eventually.
Yeah.
We'll see how that works out for them. I mean, Tex has to be a bit careful that he doesn't die here. Like, he's got poor intel. Actually, he's got the Theer Scout, so he sees that there's approximately all the tanks.
Yeah, that looks very dangerous.
This is 20 tanks on the right flank. 20 tanks north, plus the ACU. Yeah, he's gonna back up. Oh, no, he's gonna build the mechs and then back up. Greedy man.
Honestly, I would do the same thing. You finish at 90% max. Otherwise, you're a coward.
We wouldn't want any cowardice in our FAF players.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, maybe he can get Grimplex to overcommit and draw him.
Yeah, but that would be a lot tougher. Although there's nice unit flank coming from the west side.
Got the nice scout right into the advance, and Grimplex is gonna see the army and decides to respect it a bit. He knows he has map control, he doesn't need to all in at this point in time. He can just chill out.
You know what he would need?
What does he need?
A transport to drop engineers on those 5 max locations.
Kinda thought you were gonna say fire beetles.
Well, that as well. Although, the middle is quite open, so... Ooh, this is actually a bad fight from Tex on the left side. But... Grimplex respects him a bit too much and kinda retreated, and that gave Tex the opportunity to save some units.
Yeah, just assuming that Tex knows what he's doing and is taking the fight optimally gives him some breathing room, but it doesn't really matter, the Mantis can catch up.
Yep.
And Grimplex just keeping his army in 2 groups here, basically containing Tex.
So Tex managed to deny the top left and now he's denying the bottom right, which is very important. That's an extra 8 maxes. That otherwise Grimplex would have gotten. Let's see, T2 max count, I assume it's 0.
I would not build the T2 max in this situation.
I know, that's why I said I assume it's 0.
Grimplex is T2 air.
Yep, that and the tech region.
Tex does not know until he scouts it just now. Yeah,
so Grimplex can build a gun in a second.
He can build a gun, he's got the gunships on the way. Does he have air control?
It's careful with his units. I'd say what Grimplex is missing is a radar in mid.
Radars are for cowards. Know where your opponent is.
Either. He doesn't have a radar either.
Well, Texas radar died. I know this to be true.
Okay. He didn't rebuild it though.
Yep. It might be good. So Tex is taking a nice fight on the top left. He's taking a decent fight on the right side with the ACU.
I don't. This Grimplex army movement on the left side, I think it's a bad move. That's like 20 to 25 Mantis. That is a massive overcommitment to the bottom left. Even if they were to go south, I mean that might have been decent, but now he's like in middle. He's outnumbered.
Gunship is like, here, but there's AA and the Inties might be brought in.
That's AA, but this is Cybon gunship, and the Cybon gunship will fucking crush. I mean, it will die, of course, to this few AA, but...
Yeah, it's only one.
If he has, like, 5 gunships, if he makes the repair staging and has 5 gunships, this army can melt in a minute.
It can, if he's careful.
Yeah, exactly. If you micros it properly.
If he does this, AA, maybe not.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, it's already killed 300 mass, it's already paid for itself, funnily enough.
It didn't. It actually was kind of good. And now Grimplex is going to get Gun in a nice safe position with some Mantis assist. He's got the T2 wear. It's looking alright. And this other gunship can be brought in to clean up this raid on the left. It's looking pretty nice.
Yep. Although, actually, I'm not sure. Air is looking pretty even, actually.
Yeah, I mean, if Grimplex is a bit greedy here and builds too many gunships, he could lose air. And that would be a big problem. Lose all the gunships. Alright, here comes the air from Tex. Tex has no radar, but he just wants to kill the gunships. Here we go. Off to the races. Grimplex looking to get a nice turn in. Both gunships will die. And
yeah.
They'll decide to,
I'd say it's a classic issue of... I think Grimplex should commit here. I think, but it's a bit of a, like... You rush tech to air, you rush tech to pigeon. And then you kind of feel inclined to build tech to air, because that's why you made it. But most of the time you should, because you rushed the tech to air and the tech to pigeon, you always have more build power and you can spam more inties. You personally, I would like always build like some extra inties first, just to so you really know for sure that you have air control. Because losing it when you like rush tech to air and want to do something with it is like even worse.
I mean, the classic maneuver is to just force an air fight once you have sufficient numbers and then like, get the gunships.
No, yeah, but that's why what you can do is build like 1 or 2 gunships to like try to trigger your opponent into having a bad engagement.
That's thinking of pushing the base.
Yeah, but there's actually nothing to stop it.
Yeah, well, it could actually work.
But Grimplex doesn't know.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a bit of a risky maneuver. To just blindly throw yourself into the base. But Tex is going to manage to get his own gun. Grimplex is being a bit safe with his ACU, doesn't want to throw.
I'd say there's a severe lack of phobos in Texas army composition.
Yeah, only 11 overall. There definitely should be more, I feel. Especially when you have this many tanks.
I also feel that I should have gone tech to land. I mean, I know he's behind, so he's probably scrambling for mass, but... I mean, there's Mantis attack on the left. Grimplex is scouting, he's like, wait, he has nothing.
There's nothing here. Alright, Tex will force an emergency PD to stop this insanity.
Although, now he kind of moves in at the worst possible time. He waited just long enough for the PD to finish. And now it's gonna be a mass donation.
It was all an elaborate bait.
Yeah. Army micro in Grimplex, he's hogging the mountains a bit too much. Students are a bit... He also needs to be careful. I mean, both of them need to be careful. This is really a pretty dangerous territory. Although there are some Corsairs. Finally made the transport actually Grimplex to this to drop the top left.
Yeah, although is he going to drop on the tank? I mean, there's Mantis nearby. I think this is fine.
It should be completely fine.
But Tex is thinking about threatening the production here with the ACU and basically his entire army. Grimplex's ACU is way over on the left side.
I think Grimplex kinda made a bad move here, separating his 2 armies. He made it so much harder on himself, and generally the army micro from Tex is looking a lot better here.
Tex has completely separated the 2 armies. They can't even help each other. I don't know how ambitious he's feeling with his gun ACU. Might want to move it in, but there's a lot of T2 air floating around.
Yeah.
It's scary.
I won't blame him being careful. He has no intel, and he knows there's tech to air. There were Corsairs and gunships being made, so can go for a snipe. Although I would rather see Grim. Oh, here's a big air fight, and I assume Grimplex is gonna win it pretty hard. Although, like, he has like 15 intis out of fuel that are not shooting.
Yeah, and there's AA helping Tex out here.
I mean, he still has quite a bit more, so he's gonna win. Also, both of the intis were out of fuel.
Yeah, decisive win for Grimplex.
There's quite a lot of AA there. So he actually needs to get out of there.
15 mobile, plus a static. Another static under construction.
Dex dropped the bottom right though with some engineers. If he gets that, he kinda evens the fields again. Honestly, but look at this reclaim field in mid. There's 6k mass there now.
Yeah, and Tex is building factories. He can just grab this. I mean, he keeps threatening this production here, and I think it will eventually fall as Grimplex is devoting a lot of troops over to the left side.
Grimplex is completely abandoning mid. Like his left army, it feels like all of it is gonna go for a counterattack. He gave up the mid base. He transports his ACU out. Oh no, he just drops
into mid. He wants to fight mid with the ACU, which is a bit ambitious. Like, there's a lot of tanks here. He could actually die.
I think Grimplex making the Corsairs is a blunder. Like, if he had like the same mass in Corsairs and gunships, if he only had Cyber gunships, he could literally focus all the AA and kill the entire army with the gunship. Like, Cyber gunships versus Tech Bot is just so strong. Now he goes after the AA, but he doesn't have enough. He only has 3, so they just die so quickly.
Yeah, 3 is not enough versus about 15 T1 mobile AA.
But this
Corsairs
army from Tex.
They'll help. Oh my gosh, what's this Corsairs even doing?
Oh no, what's that?
The
but
XD.
like this top left army from Tex, it has no AA. He literally split all his AA next to his ACU. So he could have killed that entire army for free, but he didn't go for it. And now he's gonna go for the ACU sniper. But I don't understand, because he was in such a good position. Why would you risk it on an ACU sniper?
This is really expensive. There's a lot of AA here. Tex was at full health when this started. And he's gonna get some vet.
Tex is kinda... Oh, nice ACU drop there from Grimplex. What the fuck is that?
Just the inties flying over the ACU. Radioing home. Oh, hey, are we supposed to do something about that?
Grimplex won the fight on the left side though.
Yeah, that was a huge deal.
That was a big fight. The issue is the Corsair's kinda scared of Tex, so he's not using his ACU in the fight now. Although the Corsairs are kinda being sent into die again.
This is a really cost-ineffective way to scare an ACU.
Yeah.
It's like, you've scared him, but what cost?
I mean, it's in the end, it should be enough to win the game, most likely.
Yeah, because, like, Grimplex is at full health with his ACU.
And it's like, he just won, the mid fight. And that's
Grimplex is rapidly running out of tanks in mid. Like, where's the support?
True. Did he overcommit here?
Like,
where's his tanks? Where's his reinforcements?
Did he just stop everything? Oh my god, he was just building Corsairs. He paused his production to build Corsairs. And the Corsairs didn't kill Tex.
He went all in on an ACU snipe. This is why you don't do snipes. Not only is it lame, it's also like in this situation, it's bad. If he just made gunships and played like the long macro game, it was like almost an easy win. Like not literally, but it's like he was so far ahead with the tech to air. You had massive air advantage. If he just focused to snipe units instead of the ACU. Like, it's still not gonna be like won or lost for any of them, but now it's kind of an even situation, isn't it?
Yeah, Grimplex lives, but his health is pretty close to Tex's now, so...
Yeah, but he does have
risky.
2 vets. So he has 17 HP more regen. He's on 27 compared to Tex's 10, which is quite important. So he will regen almost 3 times as fast.
Tex still has no T2 tech.
Yeah, that's a blunder, for sure.
He definitely needs something here.
He needs land, he needs tech to land.
Just a gunship or 2, please. Or not a gunship, but flak. The
yeah, like a flak or two, maybe like a few ilshis, although those are not the most important. This game is like tryline, nice one. But not only that, a single Tech 2 engineer to make like 1 or 2 Tech 2 PDs in mid, like spread out nicely, so you can just like deny your enemy's ACU the movement, and you can secure those 5 maxes for one of those 5 max locations.
Alright, Texas is gonna get T2. I kinda like it.
I don't think that. I don't like it at all. He doesn't have to mess for it. Also, those
there's Corsairs again. Oh no, this is enough.
He can. No, he's not touching. He could have. He was literally walking the perfect way to dodge almost all the damage, but he didn't. He stopped moving.
He doesn't have too much AA anymore. Down to 2k health. Corsairs are in red, but there's more.
Oh my god.
Down to 1.6, 1.5. Grimplex could walk in here and force a draw if he wanted.
He needs more static AA Dex than this. Dex can do this. Like, he needs to stop sending units into the ACU. He's gonna get all this reclaim. There's so much mass. If he, like, does macros it properly.
He's down to 300!
I mean, he needs to dodge with this ACU.
Yeah, this is like, the problem. You can't do anything but dodge. No,
you can if you can macro properly. But it's Dex, and that's not exactly. He can back from the antis! Oh no.
I mean, he can't. Yeah. Oh! One more Corsair! There's too many. Too many Corsairs and not enough AA.
I know it's a deserved win from Grimplex. He was kinda ahead the entire game. But at the end here, I honestly, without a game has been played, I feel like Tex was in a better position.
This game is a crime.
It is.
100%.
I found the only Tech 2 max on the map. Oh. Tex has it.
Tex has it. Ah, that should have been T1AA.
That's right.
See, Tex was in such a nice position. He was about to get all the reclaim.
He made actually a Tech 2 HQ at the front, so that could have made like a few flags, and then some Tech 2 engineers to make some PDs to secure the reclaim, because there was such a big reclaim field. And let me tell you, Grimplex wanted none of that.
He just needed one more frickin' like static AA, and he probably would have survived.